Dominika Egorova is a rising ballet star and the sole support for her sick mother. After a tense doctor's visit, she leaves her mom with a caretaker and heads to the theater, hiding her worries behind stage makeup and discipline. Backstage, her uncle Ivan, a high-ranking intelligence official, introduces her to a wealthy man named Dmitry Ustinov. He asks for a photo, but uses the moment to touch her inappropriately. Dominika forces a smile. She's learned to endure. On stage, she dances flawlessly until everything goes wrong. During a lift, her partner lands badly on her leg. There's a sickening crack. The performance stops. Her leg is shattered, and just like that, her ballet career is over. At the same time, across the world of espionage, CIA agent Nate Nash listens to a coded phone message, carefully writing down each dictated word. Two separate lives, one built on art, the other on secrets, slowly moving toward a collision neither of them expects. Nate studies the coded words from the call and pieces together an address, a meeting point. He straps on his gun and heads out into the night. The location is a quiet park. Too quiet. As soon as he arrives, he spots a car trailing him at a distance. At the same time, a man approaches from the opposite direction, codename Marble. They don't stop. They don't speak. As they pass each other, something is discreetly exchanged. Then they continue walking like strangers. But the car keeps following. To give Marble time to disappear, Nate suddenly fires a shot into the ground, creating chaos. Then he runs. The car speeds after him, turning the quiet streets into a chase scene. He doesn't stop until he reaches the American embassy, where local police surround the area just as he slips inside. Behind closed doors, his superiors inform him the asset is safe. But his recklessness has consequences. He's being sent back to the United States. The next morning, Ivan meets with Colonel Zakharov and General Vladimir Korchnoi at the Secret Service headquarters. They review surveillance footage of the park meeting. Nate has already left the country, but that's not their main concern. They want the identity of the man he met. Meanwhile, Dominika wakes up in a hospital bed. Her leg is locked in a metal frame. The reality settles in slowly, then all at once. She will never dance again. 3 months later, she's still walking with a cane when Ivan comes to visit. He doesn't offer comfort. Instead, he informs her that the theater has already replaced her. The apartment she lives in, funded through the company, her mother's medical care, covered by them. Now that she can't perform, all of it will be taken away. Ivan tells Dominika he wants to help her, but she must come to him when she's ready. Before leaving, he hands her an envelope. Inside are photographs, her former dance partner with the woman who replaced her. There's also an audio recording. In it, they talk carelessly, suggesting the fall on stage wasn't an accident. He had sabotaged her so his girlfriend could take her place. That evening, Dominika goes back to the theater. She watches them rehearse from the shadows. Later, she follows them to the steam room and finds them together. The betrayal hits harder than the injury ever did. Overcome with rage, she strikes them both with her cane before fleeing. On the bus ride home, she notices blood on her hand. Panic sets in. She gets off early and calls it in anonymously, reporting the incident as an accident. When she reaches her apartment, things get worse. She finds her mother collapsed on the bathroom floor. The caretaker never showed up. The theater had stopped paying her. With no income, no career, and no support, Dominika goes to Ivan. He agrees to help, on one condition. She must assist him first. The Secret Service wants information on Dmitry Ustinov, the powerful man she met backstage. Ivan needs her to get close to him, earn his trust, and retrieve a small case in his possession. Dominika refuses at first. But Ivan reminds her what state hospitals are like: overcrowded, underfunded, hopeless. He promises private doctors for her mother. That night, dressed exactly as instructed, Dominika goes to Ustinov's hotel. She waits at the bar until he approaches her. She tells him she came to see him, that she misses feeling admired. He eagerly takes the bait. They go up to her room. Once the guards step outside, Ustinov begins undressing and tells her to do the same. She hesitates, then complies, forcing herself to stay calm. Before things go any further, a man in a black helmet appears behind Ustinov and slits his throat in one swift motion. Blood spills across the room. Ustinov collapses. The masked man signals Dominika to stay quiet, tosses her a coat, and leads her out through a back exit. In the parking lot, he shoots a hotel employee who gets too close, then speeds off with her on a motorcycle. They don't stop until they reach an abandoned building on the outskirts of the city. Inside the abandoned building, the masked man removes his helmet. It's Sergei Matorin, a Secret Service operative working under Ivan. In another room, Ivan and General Korchnoi watch everything through security cameras. Korchnoi coldly suggests eliminating Dominika. She's a witness, a liability. Ivan disagrees. He sees potential. Ivan steps into the room to face her. He admits he knew Ustinov would be killed and deliberately kept her in the dark because she would have refused if she knew the full plan. Then he presents her with a choice that isn't really a choice. She can be trained. There's a special institution, a place where people like her are shaped into tools for the state. If she agrees, she'll have protection. If she refuses, he won't be able to shield her from the consequences of what happened that night. With no safe alternative, Dominika accepts. A few days later, she arrives at the institution. She's greeted by the headmistress, known only as the matron. Dominika is given a new name, her old identity already beginning to fade, and shown to her room. Classes begin immediately. The matron speaks of a chaotic modern world and claims Russia alone is strong enough to restore order. The students will become sparrows, operatives trained in seduction, manipulation, and psychological control. To demonstrate obedience, Dominika and a male student named Victor are called forward and ordered to undress. Victor complies without hesitation. Dominika freezes. The matron harshly reprimands her, making it clear that shame is a weakness. Meanwhile, Nate faces consequences of his own. Back in the United States, he stands before a CIA disciplinary panel. He's suspended and forbidden from leaving the country. He argues that Marble, the mole he's handled for 3 years, won't trust another agent, but the decision stands. At Sparrow School, the training intensifies. The matron teaches them to read desire, to identify exactly what their targets crave. She plays recorded footage of men for analysis. Victor answers incorrectly. Dominika calmly corrects him, which earns his resentment. Then the lesson turns cruel. Another female student is ordered to the front. The man from the video is brought into the room in handcuffs. The girl is told to perform on him as practice. She kneels, but breaks down, unable to go through with it. She collapses in tears. The matron doesn't comfort her. Instead, she lectures the class. Their bodies are weapons. Feelings are irrelevant. If they cannot control their own desires or disgust, they will never control anyone else. For Dominika, the real training has only just begun. Back in the United States, Nate quickly realizes he's being followed. He reports it to the CIA and learns something worse. Marble has gone silent. Nate insists the mole will only respond to him. After some negotiation, the agency agrees to a compromise. He can't return to Russia, but he can be stationed nearby. Close enough for the Russians to notice. Close enough to flush Marble out. Nate agrees and prepares to leave with a small team. His new post, Budapest. At Sparrow School, the lessons become more practical. A group of soldiers returning from war are brought in as part of the students' training. Dominika selects a young, nervous soldier and takes him to her room. This time, she does what's expected of her: controlled, calculated, efficient. Later, the class is forced to watch recordings of their encounters. The matron critiques each performance like a strict instructor reviewing choreography. That night in the showers, Victor corners her, trying to assert dominance after being embarrassed in class. Dominika reacts instantly. She rips a metal water fixture from the wall and strikes him hard enough to stop him. Meanwhile, in Moscow, Ivan, Zakharov, and Korchnoi discuss Nate's relocation to Budapest. They know it's deliberate, a signal, but direct retaliation could create political tension with the United States. The president wants no escalation. Ivan suggests handling it quietly through other means. Back at the school, Dominika is interrogated for attacking Victor. The matron still believes she has promise. Korchnoi asks to speak with her alone. He presses her about loyalty. Calmly, she replies that she serves the state, not her classmates. That answer satisfies him. Soon after, she's summoned again. Victor is brought into the room. A photograph of him is shown to her, and she's asked what he truly wants. Give him what he wants, the matron orders. Dominika takes control of the situation. She undresses deliberately, refusing to turn her back when Victor demands it. Instead, she forces him to look at her. She sits on the table, fully exposed, daring him to act. But Victor can't. The power dynamic has shifted. Humiliated, he storms out. When asked what he wanted, Dominika answers calmly, power. Watching through the cameras, Korchnoi is impressed. Later, the matron meets with Dominika privately. Her training here is over. She's being sent back to Moscow. Days later, after a quiet reunion with her mother, Dominika receives a call instructing her to meet Ivan at a restaurant. He wastes no time explaining her new assignment, Budapest. Her target is Nate. She must gain his trust and uncover the identity of the Russian mole inside the CIA. He hands her a passport under a new name. She leaves without touching her food. In Budapest, she moves into an apartment shared with another Sparrow, Marta. Soon after, she meets her local superior, Station Chief Maxim Volantov, and requests everything they have on Nate. Then she begins observing him, his habits, his routines, the places he frequents. The next day, she starts visiting the same swimming pool. She makes sure he notices her. When they leave at the same time, she lets him approach first. Their conversation is light. She claims to be a translator working for the embassy. She keeps her distance just enough to stay interesting. But on the following day, Nate doesn't show up. Instead, she's told her ID card is missing. Nate already knows she's lying. He briefs his superiors, pointing out her multiple aliases and her connection to Ivan. Rather than push her away, he argues she could be useful. Eventually, they allow him to engage her carefully. After reporting to Volantov, Dominika secures access to the embassy. There, she notices Marta speaking with Stephanie Boucher, an American political figure. Before she can observe longer, Nate approaches her. He admits he took her ID and invites her to dinner the next night. She agrees. Back at the apartment, Dominika searches Marta's room and discovers she's secretly trading information with Boucher. Marta returns unexpectedly, but Dominika manages to avoid suspicion. Marta even hands her a copy of Volantov's latest report to Moscow, warning her she's already made enemies. The next day, Dominika confronts Volantov in a bar. She pressures him to improve his report and deliberately provokes him until he strikes her. Security cameras capture everything. Calmly, she informs him that unless he rewrites the report, the footage will go to the authorities. Meanwhile, Nate waits alone at the restaurant at 8 p.m. Dominika never shows. Assuming he's been played, he leaves. Back in his apartment, he receives another coded call. He deciphers the message, Vienna. He's preparing to leave when his doorbell rings. Dominika stands outside, visibly shaken, tears in her eyes. After a moment of hesitation, Nate lets her in. That night, over glasses of whiskey in Nate's apartment, Dominika tells him her superior assaulted her. When he questions how she found his address, she simply turns up the TV volume, a quiet reminder that walls have ears. She asks about the incident in the park back in Russia. Nate gives her a careful version of the truth. The tension between them shifts, and she kisses him. Sudden, calculated, but not entirely empty. Nate pulls back. He tells her to go home and decide what she really wants. The next morning, Ivan visits before leaving for Vienna. His tone is sharper now. Moscow is impatient. Dominika lies smoothly, claiming she's also assisting Marta with her intelligence operation and needs additional funds to secure progress. Ivan agrees. When she hands him his coat, she discreetly checks his passport, noting the details. After he leaves, Marta confronts her at gunpoint. She overheard the lie. The assignment was supposed to be hers alone. Dominika calms her down, promising full credit and more money. She only needed time. Reluctantly, Marta lowers the gun. Dominika travels to Vienna and quietly opens a bank account, a contingency plan. Meanwhile, Marta meets with Volantov, claiming she knows how to eliminate their problem. When Dominika returns home that night, she finds Marta dead in the bathtub. Before she can process it, Sergei appears behind her, gripping her neck just long enough to make a point. It's a warning. Then he tells her to call the police and vanishes. Elsewhere, Nate reports to his superiors after meeting Marble in Vienna. The files confirm Dominika is a Sparrow. Instead of backing away, Nate sees opportunity. She might be turned. Dominika endures police questioning, but reveals nothing. When she exits the station, Nate is waiting. They return to his apartment. There, he tells her he knows what she is. She doesn't deny it. Instead, she tells him everything. Her injury, her mother, the coercion. She makes one thing clear. Her loyalty is to her mother's survival. Nate offers her a deal. Become a double agent. He'll protect her. She says she needs rest. He gives her his bedroom. Later that night, she joins him on the couch. She asks one final question. Can she trust him? He says yes. And this time, when she moves closer, it's not just strategy. The next morning, Dominika confirms she'll work with Nate. She resumes her routine and sends a carefully crafted report to Moscow, claiming she has Nate completely under control. Then she waits for his signal, a simple phone call that plays her favorite song. Soon after, she's brought in to meet Nate's superiors and subjected to a polygraph test. She remains calm, controlled. When they finally accept her, she asks for money. They laugh until she tells them she can deliver Stephanie Boucher. That changes everything. On Friday, the team flies to London. The CIA sets Dominika up in a wired hotel room. Hidden cameras watch her every move, and duplicate discs are hidden under the desk for a switch. At the bar, as she waits for Boucher, Volantov unexpectedly appears, claiming he wants to assist. Dominika quickly sends him to her room. His presence could scare Boucher away. When Boucher arrives, she's wary. Dominika says Marta sent her. Boucher almost walks out, but Dominika subtly threatens her with compromising photos and reminds her of the payment. They move upstairs, where Volantov waits. Boucher hands over the discs in exchange for money. Dominika pretends to verify them on her laptop, but she's actually swapping them with the CIA's copies. She and Volantov leave, telling Boucher to wait before exiting, but Boucher panics. Drunk and paranoid, she leaves early. Outside, she realizes she's being followed. Terrified, she dumps the money into a trash can and rushes across the street, straight into an oncoming truck. Dominika is still in the car with Volantov when news reaches them. Orders come immediately. Return to Moscow. Volantov takes her passport. Back in Russia, Ivan collects the discs and has Volantov arrested. Both he and Dominika are suspected of helping the Americans. Dominika denies everything. The interrogation is brutal. She's tortured repeatedly, but she doesn't break. They even show her footage of Volantov being executed for confessing. When a gun is aimed at her head and she repeats her denial, the trigger isn't pulled. Ivan steps in. She plays on his ego, his ambition, his belief in her value. Eventually, she's released. When she returns home, she feels hollow, unable even to accept her mother's embrace. After tense discussions with Korchnoi and Zakharov, Ivan informs her she's been granted permission to continue working on Nate. She thanks him with a calculated kiss and leaves. Back in Budapest, Nate questions how she was released so quickly. Dominika convinces him she needs extraction for herself and her mother, along with more money. He agrees. That night, they're together when a noise wakes her. In the kitchen, Sergei is torturing Nate, trying to extract the mole's identity. Dominika pretends to side with him at first, even pressuring Nate to talk. But when Sergei lowers his guard, she strikes back. She frees Nate, and a violent struggle follows. Sergei slips, and Dominika seizes the moment, stabbing him. The next day, she wakes up in a hospital. She steps outside for a cigarette, exhausted but alive. That's when Korchnoi approaches her and calmly reveals the truth. He is Marble. Korchnoi tells Dominika he knows his time is almost up. If he's going to be exposed, he doesn't want it to be meaningless. He proposes a final move. She should reveal him, become a national hero, and secretly take his place as the new mole inside the system. Dominika doesn't answer. She listens. Then she walks away. After checking on Nate one last time, she makes a decision. She turns herself in and demands to see the Russian ambassador. Once inside, she calmly requests that Zakharov be contacted. She claims she has the name of the mole, and she's willing to trade it for her freedom. That night, an exchange is arranged at an airport. Nate will accompany her to confirm the mole's identity. She's warned, no sudden moves. Nate believes she's betrayed him. He thinks he was just another pawn. When the Russians arrive with a hooded prisoner, the tension is suffocating. The bag is pulled off. It's not Korchnoi, it's Ivan. Dominika had been building this outcome since her first days in Budapest, quietly planting fabricated evidence, redirecting suspicion, setting the trap. Within seconds, a Russian sniper fires. Ivan collapses. Dominika is escorted away by helicopter. Back in Russia, she's celebrated as a patriot who uncovered a traitor at the highest level. In the final moments, her phone rings. No voice, just her favorite song playing softly through the line. Thanks for watching and subscribe for more recaps.